Good evening, everyone. It is Monday night, and it is time for us to talk shop. If you like to talk DJ, that's what we're here for. If you want to hear things that are intelligent and informational, probably need to go somewhere else.
Thanks.
Well, they gave me a microphone, and there's very seldom when I have a microphone that I say anything intellectually stimulating. So, you guys will have to carry the show tonight because I'm just going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. No.
Someone has to twiddle their thumbs. So
no, a fidget spinner. Now you got a fidget spinner.
You got to get a fidget spinner.
You got to get a fidget spinner. You're old school. You're old school.
That's right. Where's my ink pen?
Or fidget cube or fidget clickers or... I was at the auto parts store the other day getting, I was changing exhaust on my car and I had to get a couple bolts. And they had fidget spinners at the auto parts store. Even.
They have them everywhere. Gas stations. They have them everywhere.
For those of you wondering, Dan is not with us. His studio set isn't really dark tonight with the power outage. He is busy with a family event. I believe is at Disney this week, and then he's got 2 weeks in a row. He's just busy.
Good for him now. Good for him to be able to spend some time with the family, not at school.
Exactly.
We're hoping that he tunes in and does a remote broadcast from Disney, like Shaney did the remote broadcast from the concert. So maybe he'll tune in tonight and give us a remote broadcast from Disney.
See,
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't. You can't do that at a concert. Think of how much of a beating Dan could take from the Disney crew. The happiest place on earth. They would beat him if he was streaming. Look, here's Pinocchio doing his dance, and they'd beat him with pipes and
they'd shuffle him off to some back room.
You come here. We'll take care of this.
Hey, you come over here. We got a special ride for you.
Oh, let's see. I think we've got everything okay, and everything's running right for us tonight.
Because their underground is like crazy there. They really could take him somewhere.
Yeah, they could down one hole and never see him again.
He's gone down the rabbit hole. He'll never be back.
So if you're watching us out on Facebook Live or YouTube, we're on both tonight, and we've obviously followed the chat just a little bit more when we are out on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, the link, I just put it up on top. Actually, I'll pin that comment because I can. Yay! So there we are. But tonight we're going to be talking about. Well, MJ, I'm going to let you introduce this area because you've been working on it and getting things laid out for tonight's show.
This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It doesn't affect everybody, but in a way it can because it's intended to be proper etiquette and things to do when you're working in a DJ booth with other DJs. But you can definitely take these and use them anywhere you work with any other DJ for any other reason. So whether it be a festival, whether it be you working with a second person, you work with a multi-op, or you're doing a fundraiser somewhere and you're working with other DJs. This is all about do's and don'ts in the etiquette of the DJ booth. And then it's going to be very full of our opinions. So trust me, it's going to be more than cut and dry. It's going to be opinion. Because prior to the show, DJ Kilma sent me a message on one of the posts. She goes, does this DJ etiquette, is it about eating barbecued wings and messing with the fader? And I said, sort of, but I think we should do a whole show. That's its own show there.
And wait a second, now she's probably asking that because she just went through the whole pregnancy thing last year. So she probably
how is she? How's she doing?
Fabulous. She's getting after, I think it was November when she had the little one. And doing the mom thing, and now she's getting to the point where she's ready to get back into helping and teaching in the DJ industry. So she's going to be coming on some of our shows here in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
And getting back into it. But yeah, I could when she asked you about wings and such, I could see as a hungry pregnant woman, she might have been like gobbling a wing in the back.
Maybe we'll have her do a show on that. What is good and bad food to eat in the DJ booth?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of people coming in. Thank you for joining us. Tim said that he invited Dusty here from Sawdust, it looks like, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but thank you guys for joining us this evening out there on YouTube. So, where are we going to start?
All right, I'm going to hit some general areas and then talking points on the general areas. And the general areas are going to be just first up, general info. Next one is going to be talking about if you are the opening DJ. Next one is if you're going to be either the closing DJ or someone where DJs have DJed before you, where you're coming on after someone. We're going to talk about promoters, managers, owners, and we're going to talk about the crowd and etiquette on all these. So the first thing that I'm going to say I want to run through a few things here before I because I think the important things come in the opening DJs. General info. I think this goes without saying. Find out what time you're supposed to start. Find out what time, if you sound check, and find out what time load in is, and all of them get there before that time. Do you think that's kind of universal?
Yeah, I think that's just common sense.
Yeah.
If you're in business, it should be common sense. Unfortunately, I think.
Yeah.
And if there's younger people in the chat room, please don't hate because of this. And if you do, just send your hate emails to Shaney. But that's another story.
Oh.
Yeah.
True.
But the younger generation, it's like the five. We show up 5 seconds before we're supposed to do something. There isn't the arriving early, so you're there to get your stuff up on stage, or you're there to get to your job on time, or you're there to make sure that your jacket's off and you're ready to go when it's time to start. It's like you walk in. That's when the clock is supposed to start, and then I can go take my jacket off, and then I can go put this in, or then I can go plug the cords in. And it's like, man, that wasn't how I was brought up in the 30s. Back in the 30s, we had to go out and walk up those hills, and we had to do this and do that, and we had to shovel this and do that, and that was just to get the classroom open for the day. Times have changed, and I can see where my ex-booking agent used to have a saying for all of his artists. And he meant it. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Mm-hmm. And if you're late, don't bother showing up because there's a good chance you're fired. That's the great advice.
Yeah. So one of the things it talks about is sound check. So let's say your sound check is at 5:30 and you're supposed to start at 6. Your load in would be 30 minutes before your sound check. So that means you get to the building 30 minutes before the sound check and stand there. I don't care if you have to stand there 20 minutes. Stand there 20 minutes until that 5:30 time clicks and be ready to start. Start your sound check, not go, well, give me a couple. And that's something I can honestly tell you from my experience of being a person who's ready. I've gotten so many better play times at gigs, main spots, because I was ready. And they're like, well, you're ready now, so we're just going to move you to the main spot because the other guys aren't even here, so screw them. We'll let the other guy who's here play longer, and you get his spot because he's not here. So being ready can seriously help you out. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I agree with that because I've gotten other club, gigs on that club on different nights because if I quote unquote was like the opening DJ and I was there early, I was friendly, I was, quiet, I was waiting, for sound check or whatever I was doing, afterwards manager came up and was like, you're such a pleasure to work with. You're actually on time. We might be calling you. Let me talk to like the general manager, but we probably might be calling you for some other nights coming up. And I was like, done and done. So just because I was actually there when they want me to be there, which is so weird to me, why that's so difficult for people, but that's how I got other nights at the club and got extra money.
Yep. When it comes to sound checks, usually, if let's say it's a festival or something where the whole thing kicks off at 6 p.m., they'll do sound checks earlier in the afternoon.
Right.
And the order usually goes: the person who is on first is the last to sound check. So you have to keep that in mind. That if you're an opener, you may be standing around all day. You may show up early, but the main act is going to be the first person sound check, and then it's going to dwindle down. And then if you're the opening act, you will be the last one to sound check. So, but again, by being there ready, they may give you better. Like Shaney said, that's important to a lot of people. I have a friend who owns a car audio business and home audio business that it's one of the things he talks about. He wished more of his employees have that great, that great work ethic to show up when they're supposed to.
Yeah. And then we get right back to the way I started this.
Yeah.
Younger folks that don't have that time idea.
So I want to talk about the opening DJ. So you're one of the first people to play, and I'm going to let Shaney. I'm going to say the first thing that's important to the opening DJ, and then I'm going to let Shaney just run with this.
Okay.
First thing that it's most important. Okay, introduce yourself. Okay, to the manager, the other DJs. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. my main thing about opening DJs is not to be a ish right now, but like know your role.
That's one of the points. That's one of the points we'll be talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
Know your role, boo boo. You're there from 10 to 12 or 10 to 1 or whatever, and then the main headliner DJ is the one coming in afterwards, which is the reason why most of the people are there. Mm-hmm. So know your role. And, I get that you want to try to impress everybody, and you want to try to impress the management, and you want to try to maybe impress the DJ, but also know your role when it comes to music. And I get that maybe some people are coming up and they're requesting the hottest songs, and they're requesting like the greatest stuff that if you were the main DJ, you would straight like blow your wad and play those songs. But sometimes, again, you need to know your role, and you are the warm-up DJ for the main DJ. So I don't want to come in if I'm the main DJ and you're playing this killer set that, in my head, we're like part of my, I don't pre-program, but in my head, I was like, oh, great. That there goes 10 of the songs that I was going to hit like around midnight, 1 a.m. when it got like really crowded. So just kind of know like what to play and what not to play as the opening DJ. That's like that's one of my main things. I mean, I have a lot of them, but that's like one of my main things. And also like, don't mess up the DJ booth.
You're hitting all the list.
Am I?
I just wanted you to hit on the one thing. Introduce yourself, because just what you talked about at the beginning about being friendly and saying that was one of the things I think is important, and that really goes a long way. I think.
Yeah.
MJ, when you mention that, when introducing yourself, are you saying go up to other DJs and say, "Hey, I'm DJ John, and here's a card," and is that kind of introduction? Give me an example
Everything.
of what that would be.
Walk up to if you're the opening DJ and that's the main DJ, you go, "Hi, I'm so and so. I'm opening for you." If there's a bouncer there, go, "Are you one of the bouncers?" "Hi, I'm Michael. I'm one of the bouncers." If the manager's there, say, "Hi, I'm the DJ for here." If they're a waitress there, go, "Hi, are you one of the servers?" "Hi, I'm Michael." Introduce yourself, because
it gets you a long way.
It gets you. I had a manager one time at a place where I walked in. I was first time I was ever DJing there. I came up to the bar and I'm like, "Is the manager here?" They're like, "Yeah, who are can I ask?" I said, "I'm the DJ. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you." And the person behind the bar goes, "You're the first DJ that's ever said hello when they come in here. Everybody else just goes to the corner, starts setting up. You're the first one that's ever spoke to people. Stay right here. I'm going to get the manager." And I'm like, all right.
This guy's weird.
Yeah.
Even if you now become like the opening DJ on a regular basis, now you just became friends with one of the servers who might be coming up to you every half hour and be like, "Do you need a drink?" And by drink, it can mean anything, water, whatever. But like now she's coming up to you, asking you what you need. A manager's always coming up, giving you thumbs up, now that you guys are cool, but the security has your back if like some stuff happens by the booth. So it's like, yeah, don't walk in like, you're the ish and you don't even talk to anybody when first of all, you're the opener and, you just think like, yeah, I'm going to, do this and then peace out. That's fine. But you probably won't be back. Or if you are, they'll probably give you less money.
In a worse spot.
So when when you were talking about introducing yourself, that's something actually when I've gone to even doing different locations, I've gone to introduce myself, but not for the reason of I was looking for something specific because I want to, especially servers and bartenders, I want to get their names, etc. Because at different times of the night, because generally the crowd knows them, and if I can get the crowd to engage and interact and hey everybody,
Cindy
Sabrina,
at the bar, Sabrina,
exactly.
yeah.
Sabrina was before she was a DJ, she was one of the, and when she was doing cocktail waitressing, I would be, hey, Sabrina's doing a great job out there, and everybody make sure you give her an extra tip because she said she would buy a cheeseburger for me at the end of the show tonight if she got, and she had some huge tip nights by just having a little fun with it, and by finding the names of the people and engaging them. It really helped to their job, and of course, as you're saying, showing the love back was definitely there.
Yeah, someone in the chat room is talking about that. Bars are different than clubs. I don't care if it's a bar, club, a festival, whatever. This piece of advice works. There is no place in the world this piece of advice doesn't work.
Yeah, and also for those in the chat, if you guys didn't see what we're talking about, we're not talking about mobile events like weddings and stuff like that tonight. We're actually talking about the club, the bar, the festivals, those type of DJ events. Because I know like somebody's like, well, I arrive like 3 hours to set up my equipment, and we're not talking about. That's not what we're talking about tonight. We're changing the pace a little bit, and we're talking about more of the club, bar, that is type of stuff where the equipment's already there. You're walking in basically with your backpack, or if you need to bring equipment in, it's not bringing speakers and stuff like that.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to drop down a little bit further here. For opening DJ, if you can avoid setting up while the other DJ is playing, avoid setting up while they're playing. And if you can't, try to do little things in between while they're mixing. So if they're mixing something, don't go in the booth. Wait till they're in between mixes, then maybe set something down. But talk to them. Even ask them, is it okay if I set up, or should I wait? Or find out, maybe if you ask the manager, do most people wait till they're done to set up? That's all part of the communication. It is about setting up and getting ready, because you have someone who is literally doing their thing, and you're now getting in there with them. As an opening DJ, you don't have to worry as much because you have people coming after you. We're going to go into the closing DJ later, but as an opening DJ, try to be careful and realize that there's someone coming after you. So be willing to work with them too. MJ, they were talking about pay and shows. I don't know what that means. We're getting into payment later. We'll talk about payment later. We're just simply talking about the opening DJ right now. If you're the guy where other DJs spin after you, this is etiquette. Shani, you hit the nail on the head, because my fourth one down on the list says know your place. Warm up, middle, or main. There is music to be played for each. There's music not to be played for each.
And you should know, should actually know music that this is kind of like a warm up music. This is like, I'm hitting them hard. I just blowing everything. This is like to kind of give them a taste of what's going on. You should, like, as a DJ, even if you're not the opening, or like, you should know those types of music.
Yeah. I actually really got known well in this city as a great opening DJ because I would not play the hits. I knew I could hit the certain throwbacks. I could do some mashups. I could do some different things that still really got them interested, but it left every one of those bangers. And I have a couple of guys that I got to open for that I got to know really well. I would ask them on a banger that's maybe no longer a hit, that's maybe 5 years old. It was a banger 5 years ago. I'm like, are you going to play this in your set? They're like, no, go ahead. I'm playing newer stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can go ahead and play you can play that banger from 5 years ago.
Right. So, or the main DJ, if you've actually talked to them, maybe they're not an open format and they're just more of a style. And this one is going to be all EDM and trance and, house and club. So you can hit the banger hip hops. You can hit the banger pop.
Yeah.
That's another, talk to them and find out, hey, do you know, what kind of set you're going to play? If they say, no, I'm open format, I'm going all over the place, then know your place. But if they say, yeah, they got me in here, but I'm all this type of DJ and I play this and I play this, then go ahead and blow the great ones.
Yeah, that's all about introducing yourself. You get to know this, and it's more than a guessing game. It gives you tools in your toolbox to work with.
MJ, I've got a question. So let's say that you're going into a situation and you're the opening DJ coming in for someone, a second DJ. What happens, and maybe you'll talk about this later if we do, great. What happens if you have more experience, more knowledge, and you can see glaringly that second DJ is, and what brought that up is Rick mentioned that I tried to reach out and he typed in, I tried to reach out and consult. I was just thinking, there's things that that second DJ probably doesn't. And if it's glaringly obvious, does a person use that opportunity, or do you just ride with it and then at the end say, oh, by the way?
In my opinion, never say anything, because this is a true story. I've told this story on the show before. There was a club I was working at that I called in to be the opening DJ, and they had another guy who was the main DJ who was really good and well known. But he got bumped out for a night by the opening DJ that was there the week before I was there. That guy was a terrible DJ, a terrible person. He lied like crazy, but he put 50 people on the guest list, and all 50 of them showed up. He got the main spot because he got people into that bar. The bartender, the manager, I literally, as I was setting up to open for this young kid who was terrible, I heard the manager tell his bar staff, the main DJ tonight got his job because he put 50 people on the guest list and they got them to come in. You guys telling his bar staff, you should start putting people on your guest list too. So that's important. So there's a very good chance, especially the older you get, like I am, you're going to have everybody who's main is not necessarily a better DJ. If they ask you, by all means, talk to them. But like I said before, we talked about that one show about being a mentor. You have to be their friend before you can be their mentor, because you can't go, well, they should respect me. I've been doing this for 30 years. You need to earn their respect as a person before you get respected as a DJ. They need to look at you and go, this guy's cool. I can talk to him. He's not going to.
Oh, no. There we go. We lost you there all of a sudden. Yeah. Well, when you're talking, it sounds weird. Mm-hmm. He started singing actually some copyright music. He broke into the theme song from Frozen. So now, sorry. Oh, jeez. Now they are. That's 30 seconds behind. Yeah, everything should be there. Yes? Oh, wait a second. They're not. They're not. Hang on. We got to check and see. No, they're not hearing you guys. They're not hearing you guys at all. No. Nope, they're not hearing either of you. Something happened with the... Give me a audio. No. Huh. Why did... Yeah, they'll be able to hear me, but they're not hearing you guys. This... Yeah. Let's just see. They can't. That's there. For some reason, Zoom stopped capturing your audio. Yeah, it's not picking up anything off you guys at all. Yeah. Not getting there. Okay, I'm gonna try going without my headphones and see if.
This is funny.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are coming back on my mic or. No, that just brings you guys through my microphone. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. We are going to try to create another shot and see if that's going to give us source. This is part of screen capture and let's do, capture audio, select window. There we are. So if we're in this shot, how can we do this? So it looks like we got to restart Wirecast. Can I feed? Can I feed? Can I feed? How can I do this? Can I come out? Bring that back in, but I'll never be able to hear anything. I don't know how we can do this, gang. Yeah, we're just not getting any sound from. I can hear you too, of course, but the computer's not capturing. How can we? No, you guys are good. It's Wirecast. Something happened with Wirecast. It glitched in that. Yeah, control through. Yeah, I'm a Mac. That's gonna. I don't think I can reconnect. I don't know if I can reconnect it. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to. I'm gonna force quit Wirecast. We're gonna come back and we'll either, if it will catch this one, if it'll catch this feed, great. If it doesn't catch this feed, we're just going to start a whole new feed and pick up from there and see what we can do, because it's just something happened with Wirecast and it had a hiccup and such. So it's going to be an abrupt end because I'm going to do a force quit, and we're going to try to be back here in just a couple of minutes. Time to see if we can pick up.
There we go.
What?
What if they just play it in reverse?
Hey, we should be back.
Are we back?
I think we're back. I think we're back. I think we're back. Yes, we are. Another busy play. See, this is the kind of stuff you guys are missing whilst we couldn't be back because we were crashed and nasty and bad and. Yay! So that was our lovely intermission, and we're going to see what that looks like on YouTube a little bit later.
All right, we're good.
We're back, and we're here to continue our discussion. Oh, that was definitely weird. But we learned something, that we can shut everything down and come back and pick up the feed. That is interesting. Okay, so where do we leave off?
MJ?
Where are we on the list? He's in a zone. He's mixing. He is mixing.
Okay.
All right. I'm my own warm-up act here. So just for that record purpose only, let's shut this off. We are well into this night, so I really don't know what else we can do. Interesting DJ. I'm going to just jump through for those of you who jumped in and out and you're back. We're talking about the warm-up DJs. I'm going to run through a lot of stuff here really quickly. Feel free to jump in, but know your place is one of the biggest things. Don't push the volume all the way up. Leave room for the main act to pump the volume a little bit more. So you're not trying to be the loudest. You're not trying to be the best. You're not supposed to be turning it up all the way, just so that you know that. Don't stay when it comes in between the time to mix. So let's say I'm Shanie's opening DJ, and it comes time for her to get on there. I'm not going to throw a song on and stand there at the mixer and start playing with the faders and start playing with all the effects. I'm going to put my song on and step back and let Shanie get ready to DJ, because my time is done. So stand back, let the next DJ do their thing, and after they're done, The DJ booth is not your freaking VIP area, okay? So when it's time for Shani to DJ, I'm the opening DJ, time for Shani to DJ, I need to clear out, and I need all the people that are with me clear out. And the final thing on the opening DJ, Shani said it earlier, clean up after yourself. Don't leave drinks, or if it's a club that allows smoking, don't leave cigarette ashes and food there or whatever. Just clean up after yourself. So MJ, you said don't consult with the headliner. So why won't you ask about?
Said you don't consult with the headliner, not don't.
Right.
You said you don't consult with the headliner, so you won't ask about the music they're playing.
No. There's a difference between asking what the music they're playing so that you play the right music, and you correcting them if they're doing something wrong. That's, I think, maybe was the mistake.
Exactly. I think that's, you got to definitely make that. And that.
Yeah, I'll talk to them, introduce myself, ask about the music, so make sure I'm not covering over their area. If they're playing a certain genre, if they're playing a lot of twerks, if they go, I play a lot of twerk tracks, I play no twerk tracks for that night, just depending on stuff like that. But if you see them, they're making a mistake about something, unless they ask for help, don't say anything. Unless if they goof something up, miss a mix, don't say anything. They're there because they're, whether you think they are or not, they're more important than you. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how to word that, but yeah, like I said, always, like I said, that's the difference between checking up with them and getting things squared away and offering your help when they're making a mistake. Because I think that's
my main thing, no matter where you stand on opening, if there's 3 DJs, opening, mid, or ending, or main DJ. I mean, because I'm still doing all of those roles. Like I'm still doing. There's no shame in my game. I'm still doing. Is just be humble. I mean, sit down, be humble. Sit down, nobody. Okay. Yeah. It's just be humble, Did
I miss an inside joke there or something?
No, it's just a song. It's okay.
I was waiting for her to start singing it. I was wondering if she was going to, but she didn't.
All right. Like I said, I mean,
let's face it, she'll flash the screen, but she won't sing the song. I mean, I'm
sorry, I'm playing with a fader here.
But I mean, just be humble and know your role, because you never know what you're going to get out of it from either the DJ that you're opening for might actually like you, and next thing you know, he's got tour dates or she's got this or whatever, and you're working together. Or like I said, the spot, calls on you. And I mean, that's what happened with me. I was just filling in for somebody, over the winter for like 2 spots. I was like, yeah, I'll just do it. He's like, I know bars aren't your cup of tea, this and that. And I'm like, it's cool. I'm not working that night. I'll do it. And then now I'm one of the residents. I still don't know how that happened, but now I still keep talking about that every show. But now I'm one of the residents there, and they want me to pick up more nights because it's summertime, and you never know when you're humble about it. So
I have to make a comment about someone in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
See, Hubcap do mention that don't point out the mistakes of others and such. I wouldn't be looking at basic like, oh, you didn't line up your beats right, or you didn't do this, didn't do that. It's probably bigger things that are, and sometimes we see this in the world of sales when it comes to our shows. It might be something that they're doing in their performance wise, or how they hit, how their attitude, or maybe song selection for the particular room, whatever. There's just so many aspects of it. So I don't think it's something that it's the things that they're not aware that they're doing blatantly or they're doing excessively wrong is what I was really looking at for the times where you're like, dude, quit it.
But if you know them, like I open for a lot of DJs I know, and I look over at them going, you missed that. Shut up, MJ. Because I'm messing with them. I'm like, you missed that mix. You started 4 beats too late.
But I mean, like I said in one show, I mean, I opened for somebody that, in my opinion, was not a DJ, but he had a famous name for himself.
You told this story, yeah.
And I was, his opener, and he literally had to beg me to stay in the booth and help him out because he was having issues DJing. And I'm like, at first I wanted to be like, come on, man, like you're probably making 10 times of
split the check,
of like what I made, and I'm sure your rider was way longer than mine as the opener, but I stayed there and I helped him out because that's the type of person I am. And I hope like the general manager and the managers of the club saw that I could have just left him high and dry. but that's not the type of person I am, because I have done all the roles in the club, and I still do all the roles in the club. So, like I always say, I'm going to keep saying it, know your role, like know, what you're doing, because you never know. Your email, your phone, your text, anything could ring within, a week, a month, a year, and say, hey, you probably don't remember, but you were here, and, we're changing things up now, and your name came up, and all the managers loved you, and we would love to offer you something. You never know.
I want to add to that in 2 more parts, because we got 3 more parts to cover in 15 minutes. But in 2 parts, I want to recover exactly what you said about the future. Never know. We're going to go to closing DJs. My first thing that I have to say, if you're a closing DJ or the middle DJ or whatever, introduce yourself. Don't think that you're God of the world. Introduce yourself. It's pretty simple. Again, be there before it's your time to set up. Whether you think, be there a little, because there could be something screwy going on.
Yes. No, agreed. Like me this weekend with the naked bike ride that happened here. And I was a half hour late because of now the streets weren't closed, but
what were you too busy taking pictures or selfies?
I couldn't cross traffic. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, they closed the streets off. Yeah.
Yeah, like
because they do the underwear ride here. They don't do the naked. They do the underwear ride in this city.
I was late to my second club because of the naked bike ride. It was a beautiful day here in Chicago, so there were a lot more people than there normally are, and I needed to cross with my car, and I couldn't, So yeah,
she was they were referred to her as that old lady was yelling, "Put that thing back and get going."
Yes, I was one of these people. Like, get off my lawn, you kids! Yeah, I was
this goes. What you just said there goes perfectly into the next one, and I think this can work out too. It said if there's a mix-up with the start time or set times, don't argue with other DJs. Go to the manager or stage manager and let them sort it out. It kind of goes in with you about being late, and possibly if an understandable reason why something's late. Don't argue with another DJ. Go find the man in charge, woman in charge, person in charge, people in charge. Let them solve it.
Yep.
When you're ready to start, let the other DJ know. They can't read your mind. Communicate. Introduce yourself. And this is one that you had mentioned earlier, Shani, that I want to also... Shani or John, I don't remember who mentioned it. Maybe it was John. That I think this is so important that a lot of people forget. No matter your style, no matter what you're going to do, watch the crowd during the DJ before you, because they, whether they're good or bad, they've set the tone that you now have to pick up. So just don't walk up there blindly. Figure out before you get there, watch what's going on. Mm-hmm. And you might be able to take it a direction they couldn't very easily by paying attention to what they did or didn't do.
Yeah, when I'm the main and I get there early, I literally walk around the club and I look to see if it's like the normal people that are there, or like this weekend we had Spring Awakening Fest here, in Chicago. So you had all the headliner EDM, Diplo, Marshmallow, although they were all here. So we had a very weird, I don't say it weird, but we had a different vibe at the clubs this weekend, in the areas where Spring Awakening was. So I walked around to see the type of people and was like, okay, I'm not going to play like the normal set that I probably play. I'm going to change it up because of the crowd that's in here.
Cool. I'm going to move on to promoters and managers, and we're going to cover stuff again that you've already said, which I love. My first thing when it comes to promoters and managers, that means club manager, that could be a festival manager, that could be the stage manager. It doesn't matter what you're at, the bar manager. I don't care. Introduce yourself. It's pretty simple.
When you said that first one you were going to introduce or that you were going to talk about was the same for all three. Yeah,
I was going to say for all of them, and I have another one after this. It's going to be that. I have a little story that my booking agent used to have us do, where we would give whoever booked us for that gig, give them one of our T-shirts so that they in the future remembered you, because there has been times where I've had people put on my MJ shirt the next day, a month later, and thought about, hey, we should have him back for this gig this weekend, and book me again because they had a T-shirt that they could put on that I gave them. And that was one of the things he always had us do. Give them something and thank you cards. You don't have to do thank you cards in the clubs and bars. That really isn't a big thing. But we've done it with stage managers before. We stay in touch with stage managers because that's a big deal. But introduce yourself. And also I want to take it further what Shani said earlier. Introduce yourself to the bouncers and staff. Because if something does escalate you're going to have someone there that you're going to be able to, you know, say, hey, there's a fight right here, or this person is drunk and won't quit putting their beer glass over top of my equipment. You know, introduce yourself to the staff so they know, hey, it's cool.
And learn the code words. You know,
well,
yeah. Didn't you have? There was a bouncer that when somebody was bothering me up in the bar, I think I was supposed to say, hey, Leroy, there's a phone call for you.
No, I have a code.
Is there a code?
I have a code word with one.
Yeah.
I have a code with one of my bouncers at one of the spots that I do when I feel that I have like a Law and Order SVU guy that's just like just staring me down for like more than a half hour, not dancing. You know, like they watch the DJ and they vibe a little bit, but like when it's
just like with his drink.
Yes,
they're called super fans.
No, they're called Law and Order SVU. Like they're thinking about how to cut me up into pieces.
What size freezer they would need to keep her?
Yeah, in the basement and everything. Or they're like, "Hello, Clarice." Hello, yeah.
It puts on the lotion.
Yeah, so I have a code with one of the bouncers that works the stage, just to give him a heads up that like something might happen. I hope it doesn't, but just to give you a heads up, and you will walk me to my car afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I just think that's important because everybody knows me and knows that I'm not a people person. But I make a conscious effort to do this a lot, to introduce myself, just because even if you aren't the type of person that wants to make friends with everybody, there could be a time where that could help you a lot, and has helped you in a lot of different ways. So, like I said, from a person who hates talking to people, is not a people person, I make a lot of effort to do that because I think it's that important. I really do. I want to talk about getting the manager or promoter's attention, Shani, about demos. I'm gonna give you two choices, and you can make your pick. And I know you're going to choose the right one. Do you send it to them via an email or a package, or do you give it to them in person?
Are you talking about the DJ?
The demo to get hired.
I've got a great version for this. So
do you send it to them in an email or a Facebook message, or do you give it to them in person? Or
it all depends. Is the DJ in the mixed hardcore?
No, not the DJ. Not the DJ. The manager or promoter. Manager or promoter.
So are you coming to the club on the night that somebody else is spinning?
No.
You're walking in.
You want a gig. Okay. You want a gig.
That's what I'm saying. You're like,
you want a gig? Do you send it to them, or do you take it to them?
Okay. Well, proper etiquette. I'm gonna answer two ways. Proper etiquette is to like contact them through email and send them to them. The hustle in Shani says you go there in person and you hand it to them and you have a nice little conversation with them. And again, I will say, be humble, sit down, be humble, in the words of Kendrick Lamar, and
introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. But also do it in off hours.
Yes, find a night when they're not crazy busy. Don't go there Saturday night peak hours and expect anything.
Midnight and be like, "Hi, can I speak with the manager?" Do it. Do it like a happy hour. Do it like an off hours. But yeah, like the proper etiquette was like, oh, send them a nice little email and introduce yourself and give them a link and everything. No, if you want a job, boo-boo, you go there, you put your hustle on. But like I said, don't do it in prime hours that they can't even speak to you. And then you finally get them to speak to you and they're like, get out of my face. Like, I just had to do this. I have to do this. I got this. So yeah. And then follow up afterwards, like give them like a week. And then you could follow up with the email and be like, hey, John, it was really nice meeting you. The other day, I hope you got to listen to my demo or check out my SoundCloud. I definitely do have a lot of openings this summer. So, maybe we can, work together and do something, blah, blah, blah. Again, here's my cell phone number, blah, blah, here's this, here's that. So, yes.
Okay. So I got a couple of ideas on this. If you wanted to, so you have your demo tape, demo CD, what have you, you've got that, and you want them to do that. Would it be something to give them like a $10 or $15 Starbucks card or whatever, a local coffee shop card or something to that effect, or maybe a little nice little box of treats of some sort, and say, hey, I would like you to take 10 minutes, sit down, have a little treat on me, and check this out if you wouldn't mind.
I mean, that's nice. That's what we do with like coordinators and venue people.
But would that work? Do you think that would carry over to a club manager?
I've never done that, but you know what? I don't know. I might. I don't know.
It's not the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah, it's not like it's definitely not.
I mean, the worst thing you can do is send him a horse head in a bag and say, "Here, you want to
give him an empty, used Starbucks card."
Yeah.
So they go to get their grande mocha chocolate, whatever it is.
I think your honest best way to get in is part of what Shani says. But if you really want to DJ a club, and I know people are going to shoot me for saying this, but be willing to do a night for free. To prove that you can do it. That would be the free gift card there, John. Instead of here's a Starbucks card, here's a you get me free one night gift card.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it couldn't work, giving a gift card along with a thumb drive or a business card. You're going to get their attention, that's for sure, because not too many cats are doing that. Too many people will go up in their face and go, you need to hire me. You need to hire me. So that's not the worst idea, John. Did you say you had more than one?
Well, I had more than one. Depending upon the likes of the person. I mean, I could even say if you knew that they're a baseball fan, as a pair of tickets to a baseball, it's going to be $30 or whatever. But it's the idea that you want to do something that would set yourself apart from the other guys who are hire me. And
if you go to a festival level, that happens more often than you'd probably ever want to admit.
Well, that's what I was thinking. In that particular case, then they're giving you concert, tickets to go see a big show or see something like that, or to go to a luxury box at the game, what have you, or they're giving you that $5 Target coupon to use. The big stuff.
Yeah, we've done that in afterwards in the thank you cards. I told you my booking agent used to do. Sometimes we've done that. We've thrown in a gift card in with a thank you card to the person who booked us.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, for my mobile events, I definitely, have given coordinators lunches and baskets and stuff like that. And I actually have never thought about giving management a gift card, but John, I'm gonna do it.
Can't hurt. It definitely cannot.
There's no shame in my game. You get my you get my USB of my music. You get it in USB form. You get it in I could Dropbox it to you. I could do this. I could get it in all the forms, and you get you get a burrito with extra guac if you want. Like for after the club. Like I have absolutely no problem. I would love to do something like that because guess what? Probably in the bar and club scene. Like I said, I've never done that. So I don't think they're even used to something like that.
You get their attention, that's for sure.
And you'll definitely get their attention with like a little, little handwritten note attached to it with all your information and your business card and sign and everything. And said, please enjoy this, burrito bowl while you're listening to my mix. And, and feel free to check out my social media pages or my SoundCloud or this and that, so they could see. And and that's again how you have to be careful about what you post on your social media. And that's a totally different thing. But like my Instagram is all like my DJ gigs. There's some family stuff and barbecue stuff, but it's mostly, things like that. So, when venues do follow me on Instagram that I DJ at and things like that, they can look on there where I tag them and be like, oh yeah, okay, she actually is a legit DJ. She's not a Paris Hilton, Sorry, I went there.
Or Nikki Hilton, maybe. Nikki's prettier. I want to keep going here because I don't know how far we're going to go over, John, and because we have a lot to cover yet. Paychecks, Shani. One of the things that a lot of people go, wait till you're done. If you have a contract, that's one thing. Sign it so but don't walk in and go, I'm so-and-so. Where's my paycheck? I want it before I start. Because there's a chance that you won't even get to start.
Yeah, because it's different than mobile events, guys. It's totally different where, like it's in my contract for my mobile events. We have to have it 7 days prior, or if there's like an issue, before we start. And it's totally different. But also at a lot of my club and bar venues, they're actually handing it to me while I'm still DJing like the last half hour. If I can get it. I love it.
Yeah, there was a place I used to DJ at that the manager would not sign because the place was a huge club, had 4 different rooms, 4 different styles of music. And the manager would not sign the checks to the DJs until he had all of the bar drawers counted out and then the thing. So we literally we got done at 2, did not get our paycheck until 3 a.m. to where we all DJs got into a habit of ordering pizza, having it delivered. So it showed up at 2 a.m. So we sat down and ate pizza till we got our paychecks at 3 a.m.
Right. And that's normal for some of the bars and clubs that, you get paid at the end of the night, but you don't get paid until, if you made that announcement for last call, don't think you're getting that check right away. They have to close out all the registers and they have to do that. I mean, like I said, at the one spot, they do hand it to me most of the time, right when I do last call.
Yeah.
I want to get out of there because it's like literally 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about promoters and managers. What if they ask you to change the music, Shani?
Which happens to me every week. If it's the manager telling me to change the music, I do that polite smile and I said, whatever you want. And then in my head, I'm probably
can you demonstrate that exactly the way you do it? Because, it so people can, just visualize how the polite smile looks.
But deep down, I'm like saying words under my breath.
That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to be able to read those words in your eyes, but hear that sweet smile. That's what I'm at.
Right. Thank goodness it's dark there, so they can't really see. They just hear me and they think I'm smiling because I am. And I'm like, whatever you want. It's your spot.
They're the one doing the pay. There's a club here in the city that has a manager that loves to hear the song. Oh, crap. I can't think of the name of it. Little was the guy's last name. Kevin Little. Yeah. What was the name of that song he did?
Turn Me Up.
I think so. Yeah. It was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah. It had that little reggae.
Yeah. He loves that song and he makes the DJs play it all the time, even though it's 20 years old.
I play
he has to play it. I played it Saturday night, so I can't say anything.
Because I do a whole reggae.
That's the same thing here. I was doing a little set of mini reggae.
So it's like
reggaeton stuff.
If I were a rich girl, it's like it's got all those. And
Murder, She Wrote. And,
it's got right, exactly. That's like my whole.
And then sometimes I'll drop into what was the other group from the 90s? Poor Righteous Teachers. So that's you got to dig for that one though.
Yeah.
All right. So again, back to managers. This is, I think, is super, super important, and it's much easier now that we have phones and stuff, is a running calendar. So if they go, hey, we like what you did, when can you come back? Get them the information right then. Don't go, wait, I have to go home and log in. Be prepared. Have a running calendar on your phone that you can talk to them. And this is, again, what Shani talked about, the tab. You may or you may not have a bar tab. Clear that ahead of time, just so you don't get really embarrassed. And we've all, many people have seen the movie with the Blues Brothers, and they played their gig and realized that their bar tab was well over what they got paid, so they owed the bar at the end of the night a bunch of money.
That's because they didn't order orange whips. Everybody needed to order an orange whip in that movie. All right, and I'm just quoting Chicago movie.
That's fine. I figured you would know that.
Because also, and then if you're cool with a bartender that actually is just giving you the drinks and not the server, then make sure you take care of that bartender if like they're literally just hooking you up without anybody, realizing. Like I said, just take care of everybody. Treat them treat them the way you want to be treated. When you walk in, it's just like a mobile event. Have the smile on your face, whatever is happening, just have a smile, be friendly with everybody because they will remember that they're dealing with so much other stuff that's happening there as well. Like for security guys didn't show up and they're short a bartender and this and that. And then you're walking in like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to be here. They don't want to, walk in with a big smile, like who's ready to party? Yeah.
Was that without music? You just walk into a club and
that's
how you do it?
Yeah. You don't have it playing on the pad like we did earlier. Y'all missed. We were making music.
Yeah.
I was dropping the bass right there.
The final one tonight is the crowd. And I don't necessarily mean get on the mic, but we're talking about any person in that place you come across. You may not think it's important, but the number one thing that you need to do when it comes to the crowd, introduce yourself. Talk to people. Don't be afraid to say, hi, hey, nice to meet you, so-and-so. And I say this because you never know who you're talking to in a crowd. I got a very big gig that I'm back playing at again. I'm so happy to be back at this place that years ago I was playing this little dinky Tuesday night gig, and the owner of this new place was friends with the manager of this little dinky Tuesday night bar thing. And he stopped and talked to us because he wanted DJs for his new place he was opening. And he liked us because we were nice and we talked to people. And he's like, I want you guys at our new place. And we became the opening DJ for the first 3 years. And then they changed formats, and now they're back, and I'm back there again. So I've gotten 6 years of work out of being nice to one guy that walked into the tiny place on a Tuesday night.
Yeah,
So
it's just like social events. You never know. You never know who's in the crowd. You never know how many prospective clients, are there. And it's the same thing with a bar or a club, that somebody comes over to you afterwards and was like, oh my God. I mean, I got a huge Nike event from, and I'll say it, like a little ghetto spot that I was covering for somebody, that like I walked in and I'm like, you guys have DJs here? Like, where's the booth? Like, oh, it's a bar table. Okay, great. But it was funny because at midnight, that place turned into like the biggest type of nightclub, and it was awesome. And the crowd was at a party, and somebody came up to me and was like, we're actually tomorrow talking about our budget and the event. Are you available? And I was like, yep. Wait, when is it? Sure. Yeah, just write the date down, but I'm available. I was like, I will make sure I'm available. And I got like one of the biggest events, that I've done here in Chicago for the whole entire Nike Corporation. The people that were there was like, it was crazy, but like, you never know.
great point. Kilma, I'm not a people person. Everybody who knows me knows that. I'm the person who goes to the grocery store an hour before it closes with earphones in, so I don't have to talk to people. I don't know why. Maybe it's 30 years of DJing that has made me not become a people person. But I know I can turn it on like a light switch. And I actually had somebody say that the other day. They're like, it's just like you just turn it on like a light switch and the whole room's moving. And I'm like, I don't even know how it happens. It happens. So yes, I can be rude. I can be mean, but I work really hard at being nice. And I think I do okay. Requests. If you're at a place where the manager or owner wants you to take requests, what do you do, Shani?
There's a couple things you can do.
You take requests.
You take requests, but you could have like a clip. You could have a. I was telling you how to take requests. Yes.
No. Okay. And if it's a place where they go, no, don't worry about requests. What do you do?
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And this,
yeah, song. Yeah.
I was just talking to another DJ today that even when I'm not DJing, my go-to line is always, yeah, I'll get to that. I got that.
I got you, man. I got you. Yep. Next set. It's gonna be my next set. I got you.
One of my favorite lines to say is, "What's your second choice?" If the first choice sucks, because I've rarely gotten them past the second song where they don't pick a good song the second time.
Right. Oh no, I say that to her. I say, oh, you know what? I don't think that file I think is a little corrupt. Give me something else just in case I can't play that one. And then they'll give me something.
I just tell them their music choice sucks and they should really reevaluate their whole life.
Oh,
I have told people when they come up and ask,
introduce yourself.
Yeah, by the way, I'm MJ.
I've had people do that when they come up and say something, and I'll go, "Really? That's what you want?"
Yeah. See, and it's hard for me because sometimes at some of the clubs, because I'm playing so late, I get that after crowd from the other clubs that close at like 1 or 2, and I've been there like all night because if there's just 2 of us, I'm the main, there's not a closer. So now they're asking songs that I literally just played.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at me like, well, play it again. Like, I don't understand why you can't play Drake again. Like, we can't play Passion Fruit. What's the, I don't understand. Like you can't play Rolex, right? You can't play it. And I'm like, I literally just played it. Okay, well, I'm here now.
I'll play it in a bit. I'll see if I can play it in a bit.
I got you.
I'll see if I can get that in a bit.
I got you.
I think I can do that.
And then that's when I do.
Here's the last thing that I want to get. The last thing, and I want to get your opinion on this, because this is a very borderline thing, and this could go for the mobile DJs or the non-mobile DJs. When you're doing your thing, and this is something that I think is important, and I'm going to try, hope I can explain this because it's going to sound egotistical. It's not egotistical. That I try to create a bubble around me so that I'm able to do my job well, to mix well. And I'm not talking about you can't touch me, but I move around a lot and I don't want people right on top of me. So what's your feeling? Because I really do create a bubble spot around me that I don't mind people come up and talking to me or asking me questions or what's this button. I'm okay with that. But there comes a time where that bubble, you're doing your job and you have to protect your zone. What's your thoughts on that, both of you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, even this past weekend, the spot that I'm at, the DJ booth is literally right next to the stage that like the women can only dance on, and it's not closed. Like the booth there isn't closed, and that's why I have a security guy that literally stands right there. And I had a drunk girl with a beer that was falling, and I do my USB cord from my Serato to the right side of my computer because it's just a superstitious thing for me. And all I saw was like her hand about to like karate chop, and I just was like I was like in slow motion. Like I was like the Matrix, like in slow motion. Like, okay, do I punch her in the face? Do I grab the laptop and pick? Like it was like everything was so slow motion. I had all like the scenarios in my head. Do I put like eye gouge her and like push her down? Do I punch her in the face? Do I try to pick up my laptop and move it this way? Or do I elbow? You know, it was like I had like all these scenarios, but it's true. Like it sucks. Like, you know, when they're that close into your DJ space, you can't concentrate on, I wanted a hot mix out of that. Oh God, now I have 20 seconds left of the song, and now I got to pull my Pitbull song up. And yes, that was me. That was me. I mean, she wasn't holding a CD; she was holding a beer.
I made a meme of that years ago, and it said, "No, I will not play country music ever." And I put my website on it just so people knew that I made that. I was very proud to say that I made that. But yeah, it's a tough call. I think that's a borderline thing because some people are okay with people coming close because you're the party goer, you're the party starter, you're the party this. Yep. But there comes a point where you got to do your job. Yeah. So guard it a little. But I've seen guys go the other way. I had a friend who worked in a club where he made sure he had a bouncer standing in front of him so nobody could come and talk to him. He literally said, "I don't want anybody talking to me."
Wow.
And I just
when my friends will come and spend, and they'll want to like hang out next to me, and I'm like, no, boo boo. You could come, you could say what's up, you could hug me, you could take your little Snapchats and be like, I'm with the DJ, and do whatever you want for like 30 seconds, and then you know what? Get out of my space.
Seriously, the next time you perform, I'm going to stand next to you for 45 seconds.
45.
This is what I'm going to be doing right next to her. I'm going to be like this from across the way.
That's when I have my code with the security in the mic that I say, that's that's when I say the eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. That's when I say my code. Oh, that's the Law and Order.
I was looking at the clock behind her.
That's the Law and Order SVU look that I have to tell security, like, Law and Order SVU wants to chop me up.
How you doing?
Yeah.
That's my whole list, and I think it's a lot of common sense. That's why in the title, the way that I worded it, the way that I did, I thought it was it's a common sense thing. But these little things can take you a long way in both getting you more work and helping you enjoy the work you're doing.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, the protecting the booth space, I think, is something that, as you said, MJ, it could be mobile, it could be the club scene.
I don't know if you guys know who DJ Spider is, but he had actually it went on a lot of other social medias, but somebody was videoing him, and I think he was like at a bar, like in a little space. He had the 1200, the turntables, he had like everything going. And this girl just decided to come up next to him and start like dancing. And she had like her drink, like not a beer, like an open drink. And she was all like this. And he just kind of looked over, and he literally just kind of like pushed her out of the way while he was like scratching. And it like ended up on a whole bunch of other Instagrams. And I was like, dude, I applaud him for not freaking out and just literally punching her in the face, because her drink and her body was literally right over the vinyl, like right over the 1200.
I've seen DJs stop the music and pick up the mic and go, "Would you please move," and then start the music again.
Kilma, to answer your question, yes, indeed,
Yes,
we did.
we talked about you. Yes,
We did talk about you. We did talk about the eating chicken wings, and the idea is we're going to have you come on the show and talk about the proper food to eat in the DJ booth. Being the pregnant mother last year, you probably were eating at that time, because when Lori was pregnant, she was constantly snacking and such.
Like the no side would have been like the chicken wings, the Cheetos.
Can a person still mix with the Pioneer with barbecue sauce from the chicken wings?
Right, exactly. Yes, and then you missed the dance song break that we did.
Yeah, we had the sound go out, so we had to kind of do our own thing for a while. And I pulled out the pad and was scratching on the pad and making music and all kinds of stuff. It was a great thing. I think we were going to release that album later between Shane and I.
Yeah, we're going to auto-tune it.
Auto-tune it all.
It's going to be awesome. That'd be great.
It's called the what can we call that? The sound outage. Sound out. That's the name of our album.
Before we wrap up, there's a couple of cool things that were released today. For those of you who are still with us, you're going to first off,
I'll be posting on the Rewind Report as soon as the show's over.
Yep.
So go ahead, John.
There's going to be stuff there, so you can go to the Facebook Rewind Report Facebook page. You just search Rewind Report. Avante was introduced today. Avante Audio. If you haven't heard of that, the reason why is because it didn't come out until 4:00 today. Avante Audio is a company under the parent company of American DJ, but what they're bringing out is a full line of higher-end speakers. So you can go to Avante Audio, ANVANTE, I believe it is.
Avante. Give me 10 seconds, and I'm posting
No, excuse me. It's Avante, not Anvante. Excuse me, AVANTE.
It is
Avante Audio.
AVANTEAUDIO. AVANTE Audio.
So check that out. That was just released today, and there's some information on their speakers. We're going to be doing a full look at those at DJ Expo because they will be there. They'll be shipping those September, October of this year, but they're coming out with a higher end line. There was another thing, MJ, that they should check the Rewind Report out for. What was that?
Which I don't know if I'm going to post that or not. I think I'm right now posting the thing for the Avante. Oops, I put too many pictures on there. Best Buy just did a thing.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know. It's not really DJ worthy, but they're doing a thing now with their electronics that for certain products you can rent them before you purchase them, and it's certain items. Like what were some of the things? Certain home.
Yeah, you mentioned some fitness things and
like smart home stuff and some speakers, Sony, Apple. I don't know if they're doing cell phones or not, but they're giving you a chance to, which I think is genius, giving you a chance to try some stuff out before you buy it on some of the big name items. So if you're interested, maybe do they carry Sonos systems, John?
Yes, they do. They carry the full line of Sonos.
That is something that does cost a little bit of money, but it's great. And I think the first time you use it in a house, you'll go, I want this for every room.
Exactly. I mean, if you haven't checked out the Sonos stuff, that was something that we splurged 2 years ago and purchased some components. And then I'd gotten a $500 gift card from I don't remember from where, and that was what we did is we put it towards Sonos stuff, and it's great stuff. But boy, it would be cool to be able to try it and compare that to the Apple speakers that they're coming out with. What a fabulous way to go and say left or right kind of a thing. So anyway, that was kind of cool information from Best Buy today also. Yeah,
because they even said in the article your higher priced items like Sonos speakers, Sony Alpha cameras, Apple Watch, you can get them time you need to decide and purchase it if it's worth it.
For those, if you're wondering how they're doing it, basically instead of doing the restocking fee for those, because a lot of people, one of the big problems for Best Buy, and if you're not from Minnesota, you probably don't hear about this, but one of the big problems from Best Buy is people coming in, buying, and returning it within the 14 days.
Oh,
so
wow.
the number or the amount of money they have lost because, say, someone's going to go on a trip for the weekend and they want a good camera, they'll go buy the camera from Best Buy, use it for the weekend, return it, Monday, Tuesday the next week, and now Best Buy's got something that they cannot sell as new. A lot of the companies that they work for, Best Buy, is just basically they don't buy the inventory from Sony or from Apple. They basically everything comes in, and it's still Apple's products while it's on the shelf. And once they sell it, that's when Apple makes money on it. So if they sell it, in essence, but it doesn't sell because it's returned within the 14 days, Apple hasn't been paid for it, but Apple still wants to get X number of dollars out of it. So now Best Buy has to open box it to get enough to cover Apple. And it becomes this kind of a weird little game that they have to play. But that's why you're seeing them go that way. So they're creatively getting that restocking fee if you don't like it. Which is, I think, a wonderful idea.
It's like I said, it's great because of stuff that, like I said, I talked before about that. We talked about, friends of mine that John and I were talking about this before the show, who maybe couldn't decide on 2 different brands of speakers or couldn't design on 2 different brands of microphones. And they would go to the local, music store and rent them for a weekend for this event. And then the next show, they would rent the next one and decide which one they want to buy. And this kind of gives you that option to where you're not stuck with a poor purchase that you don't like.
Exactly. I mean, there's numerous times I've picked up something and I've used it, and it's like him and haw, and it's like, oh, wait, it's past the time frame because I didn't need it immediately. I wanted to practice with it. Okay, I practiced a little bit, but now once I've used it in the field, and now I'm stuck with it. I mean, I think I've got a tape deck that's still in the other room that was used for one show, and it sucked. And that was back when we did cassette tapes, but I spent so much money on it, and as such, I wasn't going to throw it away. It's like, well, maybe someday I'll need it or use it.
Yep. I've had headphones the same way that I'm like, I want to buy this set of headphones, and I get them and I don't like them. But now people give me headphones.
And that makes for a happy day. Okay. So
not all of them are good. I'm going to tell you, not all the ones that I'm given are good. So, but I get surprised every once in a while. That would be a great thing, that I could be able to look at some of these ones. You get, like I said, you get surprised. So you might purchase something and you go, rent something and you go, whoa, this is worth it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Good stuff. Well, we're going to wrap things up for tonight's show. We'll be back tomorrow night. The first show tomorrow night with Ben Stowe at 9 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be talking about the gear that Ben is going to be not only selling gear at ARM DJs coming up, but more importantly, we're going to be looking at some of the gear that Ben's going to be doing the sound at ARM DJ. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern. At 10 o'clock, Brian Red and I are going to be talking about some ideas and such for getting your name out there if you're starting out and you're in more of an urban or a metro area. We're going to just look at some weird and creative things. So if you're trying to start out or expand in those areas, there might be some ideas that you can share tomorrow night. So we'll catch everyone tomorrow at 9 o'clock. MJ, Shani, thank you guys. We'll catch you all later. Good night, everyone.